Ling. It's just a matter of proving it to the minister.
Oh, another fight going on. Aha! No, that's not her. Shit. It says in the market district on the way to...
Don't worry, Sung Tao. I'm doing everything I can to prove you're innocent.
Perhaps the Outlander will treat new cultures differently now that he's had a taste of humility.
You think so?
Why would the governor... Good day, miss. No, I can tell from your attire that you're not from the ministry. Everyone I send for disappears. There are powers at work here that are beyond my mean... I am Prefect Jitong. It is my duty to ensure that convicted criminals in the city are sentenced appropriately. But there are complications with my current trial.
Uh-huh.
I have in my custody a suspected slave trader, Chandler Ling. But one of the high-ranking ministers is trying to get him released. And he wants me to convict another man.
Fucking
The
hell.
man they want to accuse, Scholar Sun Tao, is a friend of mine, and I'm certain of his innocence. I need you to find proof so I can present it to the Minister of Justice.
Is that how I do it? I can't see him innocent man accused.
Really? You will help me? Thank you. Thank you so very much. I need to find proof that Ling is the guilty one, and by so doing, exonerate Sung Tao. If I can't prove Ling's guilt, I'll be forced to sentence Sung Tao to death. Every time I ask someone to discover the truth, they disappear, or turn up dead.
Huh.
Our best lead is Zibao, the last person known to have spoken to Ling before his arrest. But Bao knows me and my men. He won't talk to us.
Let's see, I want to know more about Scholar Song
I've
Tao.
known Scholar Sun Tao for several years. His uncle and my father were good friends. I only wish I knew why the governor wants him accused of this crime.
Huh.
If you want to know more about Song Tao, you should speak with him yourself.
Yeah, about Chandler Ling.
Chandler Ling is a well-respected businessman and merchant here in the city. Until recently, I had no reason to suspect him of any wrongdoing.
Huh.
When I investigated Ling's shop, I found a valuable knife that I had purposely entrusted to one of my men, a man who has since disappeared.
Ah.
Chandler Ling had a knife belonging to a man whose body couldn't be found. That was all the evidence I required.
That doesn't prove anything. Okay, what is Ibao's connection to Chandler Ling?
I have no idea. The two men were seen together before we arrested Ling, but I have no other information about Zibao. He spends most of his time in the heart of the Empire Tavern, and he doesn't seem to have dealings with anyone else besides Chandler Ling. I know if I went to speak with him, I would get nowhere. But you could speak to him without raising suspicion.
Okay, tell me about slave traders.
I wish there was something concrete I could tell you. They're like a whisper on the wind or a shifting shadow. You think you see something, and then there's nothing. Whoever is behind the slavers must have a great deal of power. To remain that invisible is a hard thing to do.
Clearly. I just realised, should I check the Discord? Okay, no one's even in either channels at the moment. I'll find him then.
Good. Look for him in the heart of the Empire Tavern. It's upstairs at the Imperial Arena. Don't scare him away. If we lose him, we lose our last connection to Ling.
There's a scholar. And there's Chandler Ling.
I don't know why you're wasting your time. I'm obviously innocent, and yet you still...
I'm so sure I'll be a
I'm
risk.
no fool. Those men haven't returned, and I can assure you it isn't because they've decided to take a holiday. Chasing after criminals is dangerous work. Obviously, there are risks involved.
Well, that makes sense.
Why would you risk yourself when even the local minister seems content with the scholar's arrest? Doing? I wasn't doing anything more than I usually do in a day's work. I was selling my wares to a few of my preferred clients. Prefect Jitong was one of them.
Huh.
The next thing I know, guards confiscate my goods and tell me I'm suspected of slave trading. It was likely the most ludicrous thing I've ever been told. Of course, the prefect claims that some of my items belong to his missing men, but that doesn't mean I took the items from their lifeless bodies.
So how'd you get the items?
In a given day, I meet with several buyers and probably twice as many sellers. There are always more sellers than buyers. My job is to determine whether something is worth buying, not whether the seller is worth buying from. If I see a bargain, I don't care who the seller is. Suffice to say, those items could be from any number of sellers. I don't recall who sold them to me, but that certainly doesn't make me guilty of slave trading.
What do you know about the scholar?
I can honestly say I had never met or heard of the man until he was arrested. He's obviously not wealthy enough to be one of my clients. Apparently, he spends a good deal of time with the poorer folk in the city. No doubt that's why he is under suspicion. Doesn't strike you as a bit odd? A scholar with all the benefits that position entails, choosing to spend time with the poor people. It does seem a little suspicious.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
No more than you've heard for yourself, I'm sure. They are a myth, a rumor, really. Nobody has ever seen them, and nobody has any proof they exist. And yet, there is still a belief that they exist. Madmen terrorizing the poor and abducting the helpless. It all seems very superstitious.
How can it be superstitious?
Abducting a person isn't like picking someone's pocket, you know. There would be evidence, signs of a struggle. But people will believe what they want to.
Uh-huh. So he's claiming that slavers don't exist. Right.
Do what you need to. If you discover anything...
So you think you can free me? Prefect Jitong has sent many good men to their deaths trying to free me. I hope...
See how you know they
Well,
did.
that's what Jitong fears. I have no reason to doubt him. Besides, why else would the men not return and their belongings suddenly appear on the market?
Pure coincidence. It's not proof. It's purely circumstantial. Anyone will tell you that.
Beastly
Anyway,
fucking
it seems
snake.
likely that's what has happened to the men. I feel terrible for them, but I have my own problems to deal with, as you can see.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a scholar, though still a junior scholar by most regards. I assist the philosophers and scholars with their work. It's a good life.
SOB.
though I can't help feeling guilty sometimes. The scholars and philosophers have many privileges, while so many live with so little. I spend my spare time in the poor quarters, helping where I can. If I have any extra money, I use it to help the people there. It's not much, but I like to think it helps.
Okay, why were you arrested?
I don't know. I was just down in the poor quarters, helping a family with some repairs on their hut. I was leaving their house when the guards came for me. They told me I was suspected of abducting people from the poor quarters. I told them it was ridiculous, that I only wanted to help the poor, but they didn't listen. I admit I spend time in the poor quarters, but I don't try to hide it. I'm there several times a week, in fact, usually in plain sight of everyone.
No, let's see. What do you know about Ling?
Nothing really. I'd never heard of him before this. I heard what Jitong said about him, but that's about it. He seems decent enough, I suppose.
I know, something about him is suspicious.
Nothing. I've heard rumors in the past few months. The residents in the poor areas were getting worried, though I never knew anyone who disappeared. One of the girls I helped out in the poor area said her uncle had disappeared, but I never met him. She was devastated, of course, and she blamed the slavers. But it was all just speculation. No one had ever seen anyone being abducted. There wasn't even evidence of struggles or violence. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, it is an old game, SOB. I mean, it's 2004.
I understand.
So it's a fair old game. Not that old, but it's fairly old. Not too young. Plus, I think it was poorly ported over as well. It wasn't ported over that well, probably. It was just like, you know, straight thing to console. Let's see, it's not a Tavern Keeper, Arena Guard. That's for Lau. No, you certainly don't want to talk to him. There he is.
What do you want? Do I know you?
No, but I know you, Zibao.
Really? Lots of people know me. So what? I'm a little busy right now. I've got a bowl of wine that needs drinking, so why don't you just find someone else to bother?
Let's see. Yeah, Ling told me you take me to see the slave traders.
Who? I don't know anybody by that name, and I don't know anything about slave traders.
Uh-huh, sure you don't.
Leave me alone. I have nothing to say to you, so why don't you...
How about 1,000 silver? That's a lot of money, Zybo.
Yes, that is. More than I'd see in a month. I might be able to take you there. You'll have to pay me now, and I'm not promising you won't get killed once we get there.
Agreed, Lexichu, agreed.
It's your life, friend. No refund. Follow me.
It probably was a bit of a wonky port, like so many are.
Now, what is the meaning of this? Summoning me to this place was bad enough. You know I can't stand the stench of these beasts. I've already dealt with the last shipment of slaves, and with that damned prefect poking into our affairs, we have to be extra cautious. Now, there's an unknown quantity in this little meeting. Just who are you?
I'm interested in your little... How about this? I'm interested in your little business arrangement.
In the slave market, are you? Funny how I find that a bit suspicious. Especially given that we've had run-ins with several of Prefect Shitong's investigators. Zibao was a fool to bring anyone here. We can't afford anyone nosing into our affairs right now, and you've heard too much. Get her, boys, but don't kill her. You'll get quite a bit of silver for this one.
Well, I'm not going to be that easy. Haha! Oh shit. I'll get that sorted one of these days, I'm sure. Oh. Aha! There we go.
This has gone far enough. Far better than the last dog who dared cross us. Maybe I was hasty in my decision to attack you.
You certainly were.
I have an eye for raw talent. That helps when picking slaves, but it comes in handy in sizing up potential allies.
Yeah, everyone's eyes going all over the place, just noticed that.
You're clearly too skilled to be one of the fools hired by Prefect Shitong. So what business or grudge do you have with us?
What's your name? Channeling. Oh, it's
You've met my friend, have you?
Ah, it is his friend.
Ling's a good man and a valuable resource, so I'm not willing to let him go to jail. Some generous donations to a high minister almost solved my problem, until the good prefect decided to get in our way. Perhaps I can find a price that's right for you to also turn a blind eye to our little situation here. Our little enterprise gives us deep pockets.
Okay, never the sense now.
If only I had a silver coin for every time I've heard that. Come then, let's end it.
Paralyzing fire. Long sword, long sword. This is it.
Haha.
Leaping tile.
There we go. Slaver documents. Auto put the graphics high. Oh. I love when this is in the background, like a long sword, long sword. Well, I do love my long sword. It's one skill I put like, loads of points into that I got right at the beginning that I've just kept using. Other skills I've just kind of tossed to the side, which is a bit of a pain. Let's see, plot items, save documents. So, these documents clearly indicate channeling is involved in the slave traders. Well, he's gonna be fucked over, isn't he? Can I even put the graphics any higher? That's about it, really. Because the only thing is, to get this to work, I had to get a EXE that bypassed the setup guide. So that's also probably another reason why it's not looking so good. But it's the only way to fucking play it. Then I also use Paralyzing Palm, which is very useful. Or rather, Paralyzing Palm helped me win the battle last time. And a mana font. Or rather, chi. Or spirit. Right, I've got the evidence. I got the evidence.
There you are. The governor sent Ho Chong, one of his lapdogs, to oversee the trial. I hope you learned something, or I'll have to proceed with Song Tao's sentencing.
I split inside bow and he took me to the slavers.
Took you there? That's incredible. That's remarkable. Well, what did you find? Have you discovered evidence that exonerates Scholar Song Tao?
Yes, I have it right here. Take a look yourself.
Ha! That doesn't prove a thing. Pieces of paper can be bought and sold just like anything. Just like anyone.
I'm afraid you're quite mistaken, Chandlerling. This proves a great many things, including your guilt. I never suspected the slavers were so well connected.
Yep.
Let me see that. Well, this certainly looks interesting. Suppose Scholar Sung Tao can go free then. And you, Chandler Ling, will come with me for sentencing. It will be quick and harsh, I suspect. It will not be tolerated in the Empire.
Which is funny because they have their own term of slavery.
You don't know what you're doing. You're all making a very big mistake.
Ah, Crimea River.
Thank you for risking yourself to help me. If there's anything I can do to repay you, please ask.
I'm just glad an innocent man didn't suffer.
You are too kind. I have no real way to repay you. However, I do have some items you might be interested in.
Oh.
They're not here, of course. Come and find me in the Scholar's Garden, and I will be glad to show you what I have. I'll see you there. Goodbye, and thank you again.
Aura of Calm.